back to the Racing Mindcast, the show that helps athletes slow down their minds so that they can race past their limits. I'm Chris Haig.
And I'm Morgan Pickenbach Babies.
And we have undergone a bunch of changes since last time we talked. I've been doing a couple solos, so it's good to have Morgan back. And also, we're doing a couple different platforms.
Yeah.
So right now, if you click on our YouTube channel, we have a video recording of this. So you actually get to see my ugly mug and Morgan's beautiful beautiful profile. You get to see my gigantic cup of coffee. I think this is number 3 for the day. And our non-sponsors, Starbucks. And we also are changing up the format here. So we experimented a little bit a couple weeks ago with having split recordings. So we had a couple interludes in there, a couple musical interludes. That's another change. We are going to have more different types of music in there, just so that we can diversify and not only have the rap-centric and R&B-centric music that I've chosen in the past, but diversify there. All my students know my love for rap music and R&B music, as well as all of my college roommates and neighbors in college. Anywho, that will be one change. But we're breaking this up into 3 different installations. So in the first 10 or 15 minutes or so, we're going to be having our psychology, psych training, what's going on, mindful moment segment. From there, we are going to go into the Bayard or Bonk section.
Yeah.
And Morgan, why don't you tell us what Bayard or Bonk is so I can have a sip of coffee?
Well, Bayard or Bonk was our channel on YouTube, and we just did, kind of sports nutrition for the most part, but we're going to try and broaden it a bit into more, fun foods, etc. But whatever catches our eye that week, we're going to review. As we have been on Bayard or Bonk on YouTube, but we're kind of merging the two so that we get, the podcast and the YouTube review done in one big chunk so that it's all there for posterity, YouTube and as well as on the podcast. So you get to hear us munching.
Yes,
Yay!
I know all of you love to hear me drinking coffee and slurping coffee and eating. So that's why you should go to YouTube and check out the YouTube video. So not only do you get to see what the bars look like, you get to see us eating the bars, which is even better.
Live, not really, but slightly edited.
Photoshopped to make the bars look more appealing.
Of course.
And then in the third part, for the next year at least, we are going to be doing a special segment called The Year of Fear. And it's not Halloween quite yet, but for the next year, what we're going to be doing, and we'll dive more into the segment, but we're going to be doing a Fear a Week to broaden our own horizons and also help you as athletes and as listeners see if you can start challenging your fears.
Yeah.
So let's... go ahead.
There's just a list that we each created, and we're going to describe all of this in separate posts on our blog page as well, that we got individual 52 items on our lists of fears or things that we've been avoiding doing, specifically for different reasons. We've listed them all out, and we're going to be attempting to tackle one a week in no particular order, because they are there on a list from 1 to 52, but that's not an order of priority. And we're just going to tackle each one each week and write a blog post about each fear conquered and keep you in the loop as we go. So it's from this week, so this is week 1.
We're just finishing up week 1.
Yep. So we're recording this on a Friday, so this is the end of week 1. And then we're going to have our first post on our blog page about how it went on Sunday, and then go from there until this time next year.
And you can check out those specific blog posts. They will be pinned under the resource tab of our website, braveheartcanada.com. So without further ado, let's get into segment.
All right. So, what have we been doing lately?
Well, vacation. That's what we've been doing.
Well,
and
vacation.
And this actually, what sparked the idea for this podcast was Morgan did a great article, also on braveheartcanada.com, on vacation and how you can navigate vacation. And
as it relates to training and your regular routine, how to keep sane, how to enjoy it while you're actually doing it rather than stressing about it until you get home and then just regretting stressing.
And that's what I wanted to dive more into on the podcast and elaborate more on, because I felt like at least from my perspective, the most important point on that list was the need to let go. And especially in my last kind of 8 months, when we were planning to move across country, and then planning this vacation when we went to Maine and Bar Harbor and Acadia, everything in the back of my mind was, how am I going to get my workouts in?
Yeah.
And for me, that was a huge struggle, because no matter, for the past, actually since college, I've been afraid to take vacations, because I'm afraid of letting go of my routine, letting go of my schedule, letting go of my nutrition, letting go of my controlled environment, and what impacts that would have on my season and on my upcoming races. So since college, I have not let myself really go on vacation, because I've always been so focused on training. And because of that, I've felt like I've limited myself in what I've chosen to do, studying abroad in college, places that I can go, places that, exploring, even staycations in Arizona, and staycations in LA, I was afraid to go on, because I was afraid of how it would impact my training.
You sacrificed spontaneity and serendipity to maintain a sense of order and control, because that's your comfort zone. And this ties into the year of fears, that challenging yourself will actually open your opportunities rather than limit you to a safety zone, which is stunting. Excuse me.
Definitely stunting, because I feel like I don't let myself. This is what's been different this time around on this vacation, was that I didn't ease up on my control. I said, I'm going to take this week. I'm going to allow myself to recover. I am not going to focus on training, and I'm going to be fitter and stronger for it. I don't, if I lose a little bit of fitness, that's okay. I need to focus on enjoying myself and spending time with my dog, who you can most likely hear in the background right now. He's manicuring himself, but if we put him downstairs, he'll moan, and it sounds like we're abusing him.
He plays a very good violin.
Yes. Anyway, try to let myself go more. So, not running with my Garmin, or if I did run with my Garmin, turning it to what I call naked mode and just looking at the watch, but setting no alerts, no splits, no power readings, none of that. None of it was scheduled. So we woke up the morning of and said, what do we want to do today?
Yeah.
What do we want to cross off our adventure list? And I think that's the important part about vacation. That a lot of people forget, especially if you're training for a key race, is
how do you shoehorn in your priority? It's examining your priorities and then saying, okay, do I really want to, force this in at the expense of the rest of my life?
And I think for vacation, you shouldn't force it in.
No.
Your priority should be with your family and enjoying yourself.
And with yourself.
Turning off that analysis mind. Turning down the volume on the monkey mind too.
Yeah.
And
risking losing control.
Yeah. And I think that's the great thing about vacation, is especially if you're spending 50 weeks out of the year in such a regimented, controlled, scheduled environment, stepping back so that you can enjoy something different. And enjoying that something different, you're
enriching yourself, and it could actually make you a better athlete in the long run, because you're a more sustainable athlete. You're less likely to experience burnout, and you're more likely to love the sport for longer.
So I'm going to flip this, because we've been talking more about athletics. Nutrition. That was another point you brought up, and that's something we both struggle on.
Yeah, definitely.
To different degrees. So tell me about your nutrition. Tell me about how you deal with letting go of that nutrition, because we're in a new place with different products, more exciting products. Going from Canada to the States, we're inundated with different types of cereal, with all sorts of new products, unique products to Maine and the area that we're in. and kind of driving up the coast, stuff we don't typically get,
Yeah.
which can be exciting and like, oh, this is something great to try.
And also terrifying.
But also terrifying. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, because
Oh,
goodness.
Little poopsters. I'm going to put you on my lap so all the viewers can see. Okay, anyway.
Viral dog.
Viral dog. Hopefully like the video for that. Anyway, let's get back to the podcast.
Yes. Way to steal my thunder.
You need to.
Anyway, just in terms of nutrition, I've noticed that I am definitely a creature of habit, and just as you express your control, your center of control is around your routine of your workouts. Mine is around what I eat, and I'm sure you have aspects of that. Mine is much more centered around what I eat, eating the same thing every day, and if I deviate from that, who knows what can happen. It's very scary for me to experiment, to risk, to not track. It's really, it just rocks my world in the way I don't really like. And so that's obviously going to be on several items on my list of fears to conquer. But itemizing them one by one, I need to address them in manageable chunks while I'm trying to conquer the big ones as I go. So knowing my weaknesses when I have them and anticipating them ahead of time is really key. So if I know that I'm really uncomfortable eating out at restaurants or feeling like I might not have what I always need at the place we're going, packing it just so that I'm on the safe side. Just so that if I find myself in a situation where it's way too stressful to get through the day, like without my stuff, I have it as a backup. Like it's not a dependent, like I don't want to have to depend on it, but like an Ethyn, you want to know it's there, just so that you can maintain an anxiety level that is manageable for that day, just getting through that day. So ideally, long term, won't need those things, but until then, just accommodate your current stress levels wherever they happen to be. Know your triggers ahead of time, and find ways to overcome those obstacles in a way that you can at that point in your journey.
So aside from bringing Ziploc containers to restaurants, what are some tips? And I'm not sure if we have answers here, but what are some tips for people just to take a deep breath and let go so that they can experience, food obviously isn't everything part of a vacation, and obviously that's only, I would say, 10% of being able to enjoy your surroundings, but going to a restaurant that's unique to the place, how can you, especially if you fear dining out, how can you step back and say, I'm going to go here, I'm going to enjoy the people I'm with, I'm going to enjoy the surroundings of this restaurant, and I'm going to enjoy the local cuisine? That's tough. And so what are some tips?
I would say the first thing is to be patient with yourself, to not expect it to, go away overnight. And try several times. Keep trying. And when you do go out, don't make that meal your make or break meal. Don't make that meal like the densest part of your nutritional content for that day. Because if it turns out that you get there and there really isn't anything that you can tolerate eating, even if it's not even if there's no steamed vegetables, whatever it is, if there's absolutely nothing, you haven't gone the whole day without eating. So make sure that you have enough nutrition throughout the rest of the day, that this meal will not make or break you, and make sure that you're with the right people. Make sure you feel safe, so that you don't get teased or called a wuss or something much more vulgar if you go out. And just, I don't want to say this because it's going to be a food metaphor, but do it in bite-sized portions. Like, you can only eat an elephant one bite at a time. So if you can make a list of all the different things that scare you about going out to eat, tackle one component of that at a time. And also think to yourself, what is the worst that could happen? Like, what is it that you're afraid of happening? Is it afraid of waking? Well, remind yourself in a kind of cognitive behavioral therapy sense of just saying, this will not happen overnight. One meal will not make me gain 50 pounds.
So I think with that,
Speaking of food,
let's dive into Buy It or Bonk.
Dun, 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 dun.
So what do we have today?
Well, we have a Canadian product in honor of our home and native land, or at least mine. So we have two new flavors of a bar that we've tried before. This is the Genuine Health Fermented Vegan Proteins Plus. And we just spotted this the other day at a health food store. So we have the flavors are straw. I don't know if you can see that on film, but we're going to have pictures at the end with all the nutritional information.
Not too excited about the strawberry pistachio.
Really?
It's going to be interesting.
It sounds intriguing. It just, like, more than the walnut one, because I hate walnuts. But that's no surprise, because I hate lots of things, apparently. And the other flavor, speaking of which, is maple walnut. The maple doesn't sound too bad, but the walnut scares me a little bit.
Happy birthday, Canada.
Yeah, 150. Officially, anyway. And apparently it's made with real maple syrup. So,
awesome.
I will read off just a broad nutritional information. Both of them are 200 calories.
Just going to show you on the screen what it looks like.
That's the maple walnut.
This is the maple walnut and
the strawberry pistachio.
Yeah, you can see the pistachio chunks in it.
So just looking at both the nutritional information for both of them, they both have 200 calories for 55 grams. They're both 7 grams fat. They're both, 26 and 27 carbs, respectively. 14 protein on both. Sodium is like 130 for both. And fiber, how's the fiber on these? 8 grams and 8 grams. So they have 10 grams of sugar in each of them. So they're kind of middle of the road, protein.
They're no Quest bar, but they're also vegan. So, a little bit higher in sugar than most of your standard low carb bars.
I love how, Quest bar has become the benchmark for you.
Of course it's the benchmark for me.
But, I wouldn't turn down a sponsorship, but seriously. So, they have rice protein, pea protein, and, of course, crisps, because apparently all vegan bars have to have Crispies in them.
All right, which one do you want to start with first?
Can we do walnut?
Let's do walnut first.
Yeah, because there's, on both of the bars, there is nuts sprinkled on top of them, which I'm not keen about, because I'm not a huge texture person, but I got nuts on the top, and this is going to be the annoying part for all you people who hate chewing noises. I'm so sorry.
So texture-wise, it reminds me of a D's Naturals bar.
Yeah.
A no-cow bar.
It's much softer than a Quest bar.
Not a huge fan of... I definitely get the walnut taste. I definitely get the walnuts because they get, chunks of walnuts in
The maple is strong.
The maple is very strong, and I like it.
The maple force is strong with this one.
It's your Canadian speaking.
That would be my Yoda speaking. Come on. I like the texture.
I like the texture.
It's not too pea protein-y.
You still get a little bit of it.
But I think it complements the maple and the walnut rather than being like a chalky fest.
Yeah. Just a tad hint. Yeah. I would give it a 7.5 out of 10.
I would prefer it frozen. It could be really chewy.
Yeah. Yeah. 7.5 out of 10, I think.
I think my only downside would be the nuts on top. I just don't like chopped nuts.
I wish they could get the walnut flavor without the nuts.
Yeah, they could have done that. This is 21st century. What are you talking about?
Thank you, New Jersey Chemicals.
Exactly.
All right,
moving on. I'm just going to get a palate cleanser.
Sip of coffee. All right.
Or breathe it in. All right. So what'd you give that?
7.5 out of 10.
Okay. I'm giving it an 8. Yeah, it's a decent bar. It could have been worse. I was expecting worse. Okay, so this one has mega pistachio. You can't see that.
Is that a frozen strawberry? I think it's got freeze-dried strawberries in there. Let me see if I can get you on there.
That is a legitimate strawberry. Well done. All right.
Ooh, it smells of strawberry.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. But that's.
I don't know what
it's good to know that it's got the strawberry bits in there. It's not an artificial.
That's true. But I don't know what a pistachio tastes like. Does it taste of anything specific?
I haven't had strawberry in so long, or pistachio in so long. I don't think it even does.
I don't think I'd be able to identify it if I was blindfolded.
The freeze-dried strawberry definitely comes through. It provides an interesting texture quality to it. I'm not sure.
I am actually pleasantly surprised with how little vegan protein I taste in both bars. Like, that is actually noteworthy.
The strawberry is definitely overpowering. I don't get any pistachio. I get the crunch, but no pistachio flavoring.
I don't know what pistachio tastes like. I'm just tasting strawberry.
I just taste strawberry. But it's a natural strawberry. It's not an artificial strawberry.
Like, it's pleasant.
It's not a Jolly Rancher strawberry.
No. I find both of them pretty good.
Yeah, I would still give it a 7.5 out of 10. I would give it a 7.5 out of 10 for both.
I don't think the nuts add anything to either bar. I think it's more for show. It makes it look fancier because of sprinkled nuts on top. But I think the strawberry one tastes more like strawberries and cream to me. But I am like top marks for the disguising the vegan protein taste, because that is notoriously hard to get rid of for any vegan protein bar company. So well done, Genuine Health. I would give that an 8 out of 10 as well.
Sticking with my 7.5.
I'm pleasantly surprised.
Moving right along into our third and final. So that concludes Bite or Bonk. Moving right along to our third and final segment of the evening. Fear of the year. Fear of the year. And hopefully I can find some scary music to put in the background here.
So this is week number 1.
Brought to you by the number 1.
And the color red.
Anyway, the year of fear of the project here. We described it a little bit at the beginning of the podcast. Week 1, what is your fear, Morgan?
Okay, mine is getting outside of my comfort shell. My comfort shell? You know what I mean.
You're getting out of your shell.
Out of my shell, out of my comfort zone. You know, mixing the metaphors here. I will be joining a club, like a school club, because I'm going back to school in the fall, and I'm going to join a club. And that's a bit of a fear for me because I'm a mature student and I feel very alienated from the youngins. So I'm going to, get out there and join the University Yoga Club or, the Queen's Animal Defense Club or something, just to...
Lap Club.
Definitely not. But that you can get right on that, dear. Or Quidditch Club. I would like to join the Quidditch Club. I think that would be kind of fun.
I'll stick with that club. But anyway,
I don't know who's... Yeah, it's like nerd against nerd. It's just different nerds. But yeah, I need to kind of get out there and not just do the book thing, even though that is kind of where I live. But yeah, I want to get out there, try and make new friends, see new people, make mistakes, get dirty, all that jazz.
What are you afraid of?
I don't know, bullies? I don't know, I'm an introvert. So anything with other people, other than you, dear, scares me a little bit.
I could see that.
Yeah, it's the wallflower thing, in a nutshell. And so there might be a bit of a running theme in my fears, but that is definitely one. And it's a one that I could do, kind of, get in the pool. What about you?
My fear this week was posting a shirtless pic of myself. And that might sound stupid and egotistical and narcissistic, but I just... I'm afraid of what will happen if I post it. The comments and the feedback.
The trolls.
The trolls, exactly. And I posted it this week. I posted it after a run on Thursday. It wasn't a full-on shirtless pic. It was a shirtless pic, which I will take. And nothing happened. I got a few likes, but nothing out of the blue.
You made your bike very happy.
I made my bike very happy, which is
your wife, not your bike, your other wife.
My bike was also in it, but I'm glad I made my wife happy.
Your bike was very pleased.
So it was a good way to start off it made me more confident about my own self-image. It made me realize that people don't really care
People aren't as mean as you think.
Exactly. So will I continue posting shirtless pics? Who knows? But at least the major hurdle of doing the first one is over.
Yeah. The snowball is rolling down the hill.
Yep.
Next thing you know, he will be running to join, the circus,
Thunder Down Under in Las Vegas.
Or Mad Max or something. Not Mad Max. What am I thinking of?
Oh, it's Mad Max. There was but it was what's his name?
The stripper movie.
Yeah, it's not. It's based off the Full Monty, but it's Magic Mike.
Yeah.
There we are.
If you do that, then I don't know. I might have to call this timeout.
Well, if I do that, then the ability to buy recording equipment will definitely be greatly improved.
That is a good point. Maybe I should just hire you out.
Yeah, or me out. Anywho, well, that concludes Fear of the Week. On Monday, if you pay attention to our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram feed at Braveheart Canada.
We'll be announcing
that's our handle.
Yeah.
We will be announcing week 2 of the Year of Fear with the hashtag Year of Fear. And if you have any fears that you want to tackle this week, definitely put the hashtag Year of Fear in that. Tag us, tag the show, get our name out there, because I think the more people tackle their fears, the better.
Yeah, the main goal, other than getting ourselves out of our shells and stuff, and making our lives more rich, is also to inspire other people and to kind of pay it forward and to show an example of what good can happen when you take risks. Obviously safe risks, but risks, and prove your fears wrong.
And we're going to be posting one of my favorite pictures. It's F Your Fears, who's a poster outside of our yoga studio in LA, and I just love that.
Yeah.
Love that background. So we'll be posting that in addition. But I think that should be your a mantra this week is F Your Fears.
This year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need it.
We got 51 to go.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Alriady. Wow. 1 week at a time,
it's
one
an
step
endurance
at a time.
sport.
1 day at a time to quit the program.
1 day at a time.
All right, that's going to conclude the show. I hope you liked our new format. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel. Make sure you check out braveheartcanada.com. Make sure you check out our social media pages at Braveheart Canada on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, as well as our own handles. I'm at TryBuddha.
And I'm at Morgie_Mouse.
Awesome. Until next week, we just wanted to let you know, don't forget to breathe.